Cardholder definitions. Cardholder definitions is where we program users of the system that will be using credentials to get into physical areas of the access control system. So, in order to get to cardholder definitions, we want to open up our system launcher. From our system launcher, we want to find cardholder definition icon, which is right here, and double click that. We'll then open up our cardholder definitions, and I'm going to drag it to the screen and maximize it. Now, in order for us to enter cardholder, we can do it one of two ways. The first way we're going to use is the wizard. So we're going to find the magic wand here, and we're going to click on that. It's going to open up a screen. We're going to go ahead and put a last name in and a first name. We can put a middle initial in if we want. Activation date defaults today, but let's say George wasn't starting for another week, so we can go in here and change this to August 31st before this card holder is activated. Expiration date, let's say he was only going to work till the end of the year. It should default, actually, this should default at $21.99. But if you wanted to change the expiration date, you could just simply highlight the year and change the expiration date to 12/31 of 2016 or 17 if he's only going to be here for a year and a half or till the end of this year. If we scroll down, do not worry about cardholder ID. You can put a note in there if you want. Access blocked. If you check mark that, they will not have access to anything. Of course, if he's a new cardholder, then why would you want to block his access? But in the future, you can block his access if he goes on vacation, extended leave, anything like that. You can open up the cardholder definition, find George Washington, and check mark access blocked. It'll block his access in case he's on vacation, somebody steals his credential, or he's out grocery shopping and he drops it from out of his pocket, loses it. You can go ahead and block the access so that you don't have to worry about your doors being unsecure. Special access privilege, don't worry about it. Controlled anti-passback should be defaulted checkmark. Don't worry about the image capture date. And make sure this is unchecked. Assign areas and area sets after finish. You can uncheck that. If it's not, it's fine. You can just cancel out of it, but we're just trying to save you from another pop-up. So after you do that, we're going to go ahead and click next. And then we're going to add a category to George Washington. Let me drag that over. So if anything's ever blank here, you can always click on Find Now, and it should open up everything that is available to you. So George Washington, we know he's in administration, so we're going to highlight that, and we're going to click OK. George Washington is in administration, which gives us access to everything except for the IT closets. We're going to go ahead and click on Next. We're not going to worry about capturing his image or his signature, the credentials that he's going to use. So we're going to add a credential. The technology type will be proximity. There's different ones that you can pick, but proximity is the one that you want. So highlight that, click OK. Don't worry about the issue code, the keypad code, the badge layout. Don't check mark this. Go ahead and put in the encoded ID and the stamped ID. 9 times out of 10, the encoded ID is going to be the stamped ID unless you're told otherwise. So for this encoded ID, we're just going to make this 2101 is where our card is going to start at. So that's going to be our stamped ID 2101. And then we're going to click and save and close. And next is grayed out, so we're going to finish this. So now here we have created George Washington that's starting today. He expires in $21.99. His cardholder ID is 15. That doesn't apply to him. That's just for the software. That's how many cardholders have been created into the system so far. Then down here on the bottom, we have his credentials, his online credentials, which is, again, 9 times out of 10, everything's going to be online. You're more than likely not going to have offline credentials, and we're not going to go through that today. So your online credentials here, this tab, we can see that he's got credential 2101, stamped and encoded to proximity. Let's say we need to add yet another credential to him because he's got a garage door remote or something like that, so we can go ahead and click on Add Credential. And again, it's going to be credential technology proximity. We don't need to touch anything else except for encoded and stamped ID. So we're going to start this one at 10,301 for the encoded ID, and the stamped ID we're going to make the same, 301. And we're going to go ahead and click Save and Close. Now he's got two credentials. He's got a key fob and he's got a garage door remote because he's part of administration. So if we go along here, we see retired credentials. He has no retired credentials right now. However, if we go back to online credentials, somebody broke into his car, stole the remote. So we want to get this credential out of the system without blocking access to all of his cards. We want to come here, highlight the credential that got stolen, and we want to click on retired credential, and we can either click on cardholder deleted, lost, stolen, destroyed, suspended, terminated. We're going to say it got stolen. Was it returned to stock? No, because it's gone. It got stolen. So we're going to go ahead and retire the credential. It goes away from the online credentials, and it is in the retired credentials folder now. Email address, we don't have to worry about that. Offline lock access doesn't apply to us. Categories. This is where we told it in the wizard that George Washington was part of administration. So we gave him the administration category, and then you'll see it automatically assigned him access to all of these areas, because anybody that has the category of administration automatically gets access to all of these doors, to the training room, to the lobby, and to the admin office. So we're going to go ahead and add yet another card holder, but we're not going to use the wizard this time. This time we're just going to click on new card holder, and what's going to happen is this all seems like it stays the same, but this went away down here. So we're going to go ahead and enter the last name in. And same thing, activation date. Let's say Thomas isn't starting till next Monday, so we're going to click on the 29th. And expiration date, he's going to be here for a long time. We're going to leave all this here, and we're going to click on save. So save, and we're going to enter an online credential right now, and we can go ahead and do that because the card won't work until next Monday. So we're going to add our credential, and 2102, and he's not going to get a garage door remote, so we're only going to add one credential, and we're going to click on save and close. Then we're going to go to categories, and Thomas Jefferson is going to get the category of IT, and we're going to click OK. And then we're going to go to his area access. We're going to see that based on his categories, he now has access to the MDF, IDF, and IDF2. Okay. Let's say that IDF2 is something super special, and the director of IT doesn't want Thomas Jefferson in there. So we can actually come to this area access, double click on IDF2, open this up, and we can choose a different time zone, so he only gets general access to this, and we can click on OK, and it says this is a linked access record. If you tweak the attributes of this area access record, it will no longer match those of its own link record. So we can go ahead and continue, and the system will now know, and it'll give us a check mark that this is tweaked. So if we ever make a change to the IT category, it's going to ask us, do we want to change this record or keep it the way it is? If we change it, this tweak is going to go away. So we want to really be careful not to tweak too many things. We just, and if we're finding that we're having to tweak too many things and they're the same thing, let's make a new category, something like that. Okay, so we don't want to really tweak a lot of things. We're going to go ahead and double click this again, and we're going to reset the attributes to owning links. Click OK, finish. Tweak will go away, and I just want to show you, we'll go ahead and we'll put another card holder in. So a new card holder, last name, I don't know if that's how you spell Benjamin or not. Let's just, here, we'll do this. Ben. And course activation today, expiration date, all good. We're going to save it. We're going to add a credential. Oops. You know what? I forgot to, that's why. I'm on area access right now. So online credential, add a credential. I'm just going to add anything right now, 2105. 2105. Press OK. Categories. So here's what we're going to do. We can actually assign more than one category to a person. So I can say, you know what, he is a delivery driver, and he is also a contractor. At nighttime, he delivers our bread, but he's got a second job, and so during the daytime, they're actually replacing some plumbing, and there he's a plumber and a delivery driver to make ends meet. So we can actually give Ben Franklin two different categories, and when we do that, his area access will go accordingly. So it'll say, here we say access type, category to area set, contractors to lobby, and contractors to training room employees. So this will tell us what kind of categories that he has here. So he has access to the lobby, and he has access to the training room. But on third shift, the lobby, he doesn't have access to it right now, but he does. So we do have a conflict there. You would have to watch that, of course. I don't really have time zones set up for different categories right now, but you can create different categories. You can assign different categories to a person, and it's not only for area access, but also for just finding people who has access to what real fast. So that is cardholder definitions. When you're done, you can go ahead and just click right out of here. You can delete current cardholder if you want. I don't delete people unless the database is so full that I have to delete people. But I like to keep records of people that have been into my system. I'm just going to minimize this. We're going to go to Access Manager. Now that we've put some people in, let me drag this over here. And again, we have categories here. So I can go on to Administration. Now it's going to tell me who's in that category. So George Washington is in administration. Do we have anybody in caregivers? No. How about contractors? Of course, we have Ben Franklin in the contractors. And guess who's going to be in delivery too? Ben Franklin. Housekeeping, we don't have anybody, but in IT, we have Thomas Jefferson. And his activation date isn't until next week. So again, see, we're out of the time zone here, or the date zone, so it's red. So we should also have delivery here, so he's good. So now we can go to a card holder, which opens up this screen. I can search for it, which I need to drag over to here, and find now. So I can either enter the name in here, or I could go find now. So let's go to Ben Franklin, press OK, open it up. Now I can basically see everything that I could see in the cardholder definition under area access. So a category membership, you can see where he's a member of, direct area access, area set links. We actually won't be using any of that for this, but Ben Franklin right now, this is where he's got. Then I can go to area set, which is just giving me information, and also area is just giving me information, so I can click on a particular area. Training room 1, who's all got access to training room 1? Oh, really? Ben Franklin does? Maybe Ben Franklin shouldn't have access to that. I double click on him, and I can access block, or I can freeze or lock him out. Go to advance. You know what? I can say strike. So he would get access through the strike time. So cancel. Again, we don't want to do too much tweaking because if there's a major change, if a new door gets added or something like that, and we We just need to change some stuff. If you got a lot of tweak stuff, it's not going to be good. It's going to either ask you to leave it or reset all the tweaking, and then you'll have to go through all the tweaking again, which you're not going to remember all the tweaking that you did. So it's best not to do it to begin with.